Hello. Hi, how are you doing today? I hope well. Okay, today we're going to learn the song Strong Tower. So, I'm going to do the gestures along with the song to start with. There we go. Hear my cry, O God, attend to my prayer from the end of the earth. I will cry to you, for you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is high, higher than I. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. Good. That's the whole song. Okay. So, we're going to start this song with hear my cry. So from the ear you have it cupped. Hear my cry, to cupped around the mouth. Hear my cry, oh God, up like this. God attend. That means like really pay attention. Hear my cry, oh God, attend. Then it's to my prayer, so your hands are out anyway. You just bring them together. To my prayer from the end. And so you take the end of your pinky and you come down on it with your pointer. From the end of the, now just make a fist of it, it's almost a fist anyway, of the earth. Let's go from there again. So it's, hear my cry, O God, attend to my prayer from the end of the earth. And then, where you have your hand here, I will cry, and then bring this finger out, to, that's when you bring both fingertips together. I will simply, a little crying gesture, like a tear running down the cheek. I will cry to, again, cry to you, and it repeats, for you. So you have two U's pointing up. Okay, let's go again. Hear my cry, O God, attend to my prayer from the end of the earth. And here, I will cry to you, for you have been, so we add to it by bringing the hand out, have been a shelter. You already have your hand out, you just make a little shelter there. A shelter for me. Okay, we're getting pretty far along. Let's do that much. So, start with, hear my cry, O God. Here we go. Hear my cry, O God, attend to my prayer from the end of the earth. I will cry to you, for you have been a shelter for me. And we're stopping there. Okay, shelter for me. And then a strong tower from, so just put your two fists together and make it a tower. A strong tower from the enemy. And enemy is just the fingertips going straight out and then down like this. Enemy. And we'll elongate, slow it down. So, a strong tower from the enemy. Like that. Okay? And let's just try that whole part again, now that we've gone through that part. So we start this way. Hear my cry. Hear my cry, O God, attend to my prayer from the end of the earth. I will cry to you, for you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. Good. Okay, that's that whole first verse. And then we say, when my heart is overwhelmed. So we start with when, you just point up with your left finger, and with your right finger pointing, you go around a clockwise circle. When my heart, and you actually just form a little heart on your chest. So, when my heart is, and the over is you just bring this hand over the other one, over. So, when my heart is over, and then whelmed, just shake your head like, oh, it's too much. So, overwhelmed. So, when my heart is overwhelmed, then it repeats the phrase, my heart is overwhelmed, lead me. So it's just your two pointer fingers, one leading the other. Lead me. Okay? So that is, when my heart is overwhelmed, my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock. And when you do rock, you just put one fist on top of another. Rock. And then you repeat it. The rock that is high. You come up pretty high, but you say, higher than I. So, that is, lead me to the rock that is high, higher than I. And then you go back into that chorus again. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. Now from the beginning again of that verse it is, when my heart is overwhelmed, my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is high, higher than I. Chorus, for you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. Okay, let's try that verse. And I'm going to be starting right in with when my heart is overwhelmed. When my heart is overwhelmed, my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is high, higher than I. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. Now here is just an instrumental verse. And then we'll jump into the chorus. Here it comes. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. Good, okay. So, that's the whole song. Let's do it together all the way through. So we're going to start with Hear My Cry, O God, attend. So hear my cry, oh God, attend. Here we go. Hear my cry, oh God, attend to my prayer from the end of the earth. I will cry to you, for you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. When my heart is overwhelmed. When my heart is overwhelmed, my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is high, higher than I, for you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. Then our instrumental verse. Here it comes. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. Ah, there we go. Okay. Thank you for joining me today.